Okay, so how did you feel about Gerald Ford?
Gerald Ford seemed to be just a nice guy.
He really didn't get much time.
He didn't get a whole lot. I mean, he just...
And he also got really bad rap for having to put up with Nixon. So he pardoned him, you know, and people were like, you shouldn't do that.
That messed up that whole... We never got to really see who Gerald Ford was.
Then next would have been Carter.
Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was brilliant. Jimmy Carter has been stronger since his presidency than he was.
That's how I felt as well. I didn't like a lot of his social policies,
but
I liked his humanitarian deed. He did a lot for people, you know.
His heart is huge. His social policies, I thought, were just not good.
That wasn't your...
Not good.
And then
See, I can't. I am I'm a fiscal conservative.
And more moderate for social views.
And I thought he was just a little too extreme. But I sure love.
You know, there was as we talked about in history class, you can never have stagnation and inflation at the same time.
Right.
And under him, we had that stagflation, that kind of a new term, something that basic economics say you can't do.
You can't do it.
So he gets a lot of bad rep for that. And then the whole Iranian hostage crisis, he just didn't do foreign affairs very good.
He wasn't. He understood them, but he didn't know how to.
He wasn't tough either. That's what a lot of people say. He was too easy to concede.
He didn't know how to handle people. He wasn't a good manager of people.
And here comes everyone's favorite, Reagan.
Loved him.
You either hated him or you loved him.
I loved him. He brought back to our country patriotism, things that we needed, that started after Vietnam. That whole Vietnam crisis, patriotism started doing this through the Iran mess. And then here comes Reagan, the Nixon mess. And it was just negative. And then all of a sudden Reagan comes in with his charismatic... and
good looks.
His good looks.
Everybody knew him because he was it wasn't Death Valley Days he was on. He was on one of those Western TV shows. He was an announcer. My dad loves him. Well, he loves those old cartoons. Cartoons of Westerns and TV shows.
Oh, just really good. I remember him just being really good for our country.
Economically conservative.
Economically, we were doing well. He was very conservative and just... I just liked him.
You got 8 years of Reagan. Then Bush Sr. tried to, live on the legacy of Reagan. That kind of failed. He wasn't. Everybody wanted the 4 years of Reagan. You couldn't get.
You couldn't have the 4 years.
Actually, I want to ask you, what do you remember when Reagan was the attempted assassination on him? What was?
I was working. It was right after I had had a job. I taught. That was the year I got married. That was 1981. I had gotten a job, had taught school from March until June. Then in June, got a job for the summer at an insurance company. One of our agents came in and said, Reagan has been shot. And I died. And we found a TV in the back of the insurance office, a little black and white small TV, and we watched that, and I could not believe it. Because we were stunned, like all the nation. Who would want to shoot Reagan? So that was a big thing. Bush, I think one did a better job than two.
So you like senior over junior?
Yeah, I did. And maybe it's because his wife was so active. And she did so much. Maybe that was it. I'm not really sure. But we seem to be in a holding pattern with him, kind of, even though it was a long time. And then Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton came. I remember Monica Lewinsky.
As he was, he dubbed himself a moderate Democrat.
He was liked by a lot of people too.
Did you like Bill Clinton before the whole scandal with him?
Interestingly enough, no, I thought he was too liberal. Isn't that a weird shift? I wasn't wild about his financial policy, the economic policy.
Like NAFTA.
I wasn't real big with that. And I did not think that he did the greatest of jobs with foreign affairs. Now, then we got the other one.
The other Bush.
The other Bush. That was.
See, that's when I lived through his presidency, but I don't remember much about him other than, he was the president. He was a figure in my life. That's all I knew.
The main thing I remember with him was he screwed education. And I don't know why I remember that, and I don't even know if it's accurate. But when I think of him, that's what I think. And his wife, because his wife was a librarian or a teacher or something. But he didn't do anything to help us, because I think that was when No Child Left Behind came around. That was a nightmare.
That's Common Core, right? Or is that...
That was pre-Common Core. That's what led to it.
I
hate Common Core.
Okay, I didn't know, some teachers like that. I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Can't stand it.
It's what made my little sister hate reading and literature and everything else about school.
It's making everybody hate everything about school.
Because it doesn't allow teachers to be
freedom.
Personalized.
No
You
freedom.
have to go by the books. Off topic. What was your reaction to 9/11? And that's every American's. I was old enough to remember it. Every American should know.
It was real traumatic. I remember there were two events when I was teaching that were really traumatic. Growing up, it was the assassination of Kennedy, the assassination of King, the assassination of the other Kennedy. As an adult, it would have been I can't think of the name of it. The space mission with Sally Ride that blew up. Challenger.
I was going to say Columbia. That's not right.
We were watching that as a class. And my students, they were 7th graders, they weren't children. We watched that happen. That was huge. The other one was 9/11. We saw that as a class. And having students, both 7th graders, having students in your presence when you see something like that for the first time totally changes your perspective of it. Because the questions, they are open and honest enough to ask the questions that you are thinking but would never verbalize. So we had to debrief and we did it. It took days to work through that. How somebody would come onto our soil and do that kind of thing. Nobody could understand it. And there was no way to understand. There was no way to explain it.
This has never happened before. Not like that.
Not like that. No, that was just horrific. And the families and everybody was questioning. Everybody was, because there was so much devastation. Why? Why would somebody do this? Why does somebody hate like this? And you've got to remember, we had come through all that hate of the civil rights movement. And we thought we were on the other side of hate. And Reagan had come and made us all feel good. And we were all back in the land of milk and honey. And then this happens. And it's like, why?
That was a big takeaway for you. Why? You just couldn't comprehend why a group of people would want to do that.
No, because I grew up in a home with a vet. I mean, Dad was a veteran. So patriotism was huge. And I had just finished a unit with my 7th graders on civic responsibility and duty. And then that happened. And I was speechless, and one of them said, I'll never forget, one of them said, let's write. That's what we do when we don't know what to do.
Right.
And one of the students actually produced a piece that was later published by, I think it was called Southern Sampler at the time. It was something that the consortium did with all the schools in the area. Beautiful point, beautiful. And I thought, wow, it's pretty cool that good could come out of it. But that was bad. It was sad. And that was the precursor to where we are now.
So how'd you feel about the Obama administration?
I have very mixed emotions. I thought he did his first term when he reached out to kids, I thought was wonderful. Because no president has ever reached out and talked with students. I thought that was really good.
So first term was...
Well, he didn't do that much in his second term. I didn't think. He tried to, I think, but you know, the House and the Senate were on, by that time everybody's bickering, nobody wants to get along, and I don't know that we would
very
have
controversial presidency.
Yeah.
Even like Bush was, I could probably say was worse than Obama's presidency. People talk more about Obama than Bush, you know.
I think Obama got the blame for some of Bush's stuff, and that bothered me because a lot of times the president after will get, because some of the things don't happen, I mean, we know take time to happen, and some of the things that was like, who was it after Reagan? That would have been Bush 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of Reagan's policies at the end of his presidency did not really even take effect until Bush took office. So he kind of had a windfall, yeah. So I think some of the stuff that Obama was tagged with wasn't totally
Bush.
his. Yeah, and I don't think that was fair. Did I care what color he was? No.
That shouldn't matter.
No,
Never.
it shouldn't matter. And I got real annoyed with the fact that we were touting that because I'm like, folks, if he's a good president, he's a good president no matter what color he is. I liked his emphasis on education. I liked his emphasis on family.
But maybe not so much economically, his economic...
The economic policies I thought were weak. But he did bring family back to the forefront. And it needed to be. And Lord, we can't even go there right now with Trump. I can't figure out. I just can't figure him out.
I was going to ask that next. That's, the most controversial president we've ever had.
He needs to keep his mouth shut. If he would just see, I want to see action. I don't want him talking about it. And I'm so sick of this thing. If they would take this away from him, it would be a blessing to all of us. Because he doesn't know how to tweet. You just don't tweet the kind of mess he tweets. I did not vote for him because I was unsure. I didn't vote for Hillary either.
Are you going to give him a chance, though?
Oh, yeah. Again, I'm open-minded.
Like I said, I wanted Obama to do a good job. It doesn't mean I had to like him. I didn't have to like his presidency.
I am a member, a citizen of this country. If he doesn't do a good job, I'm the one that's
You're getting affected, yep.
I want him to do well. And I think we've got a lot of people that don't feel that way, and I can't understand why.
Look past your differences and try to come together.
That's the whole mess in Washington right now. Are we going to sit here and continue to bicker for another however many thousand years we're going to bicker? Or are we going to get something done? If you really love the country like you're supposed to, and if you really care about people like you should because you're elected to a public office, then you need to be burying the hatchet or coming up with some way that we can compromise and do something. And I don't mean these little piddly compromises. I mean, we got to get somewhere.
Something big needs to happen.
Yeah, because this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, my phone's about to die anyway, so I guess it'd probably be a good time to